nicest thing.
Hello. Hi. Hello, Summer in the City. Welcome to the Comedy on YouTube panel. Yay! This is fun, isn't it? Nice to have a Comedy on YouTube panel. So I guess we start by getting people to do...
We're going to win.
Do you want to, like, intro yourselves and
I'll just talk at once for an hour and see how that goes.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good plan.
Yeah.
I think
And maybe you just start throwing things at each other. That could be quite good. So, yeah, do you want to just introduce yourselves, say very briefly what kind of videos you do on YouTube, just so everyone is acquainted with each other?
Where do we start?
Let's go this way down.
Okay. Can we have the microphone?
Yeah.
It's going well, isn't
It
it?
doesn't need to go in your mouth.
Hello. Hello, we are Jack and Dean.
I'm Dean. Hello.
And I'm Jack. That wasn't clear. And we make short comedy videos. I suppose you could call them sketch comedy, but I wouldn't. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hello, I'm Laura. I'm known as Laurbubble online, and I do comedy video blogs and sketches as well.
Oh, it's good. Hello, I'm Hazel. My channel is Chewing Sand. I do mostly comedy vlog type things and also some comedy sketches, and I've made one short film which was, I would say, a dark comedy. That's where I stand in the realm of comedy. Tom.
Yes. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm an angry man. I like blowing things up and making cartoons where people die.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm troubled.
Hi, I'm Mark Douglas. I'm American. I'm from BriBryontour. This gentleman and I, Todd Womack.
I'll do my own intro.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
sorry. He's his own person. It's very willful. Yeah, we do funny songs, song parodies, and sketches, and all kinds of sketch fun. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Todd Womack. I'm totally different than Mark Douglas. We're Barely Political. We do the Key of Awesome. You didn't mention that.
Oh, I didn't.
And yeah, we just make fun of everything. We just I did a fake British vlogger yesterday.
Great timing.
And I was wondering if you're pissed off about it. Let me know, because I'm curious about it.
My favorite song is Electronic Wuss. That's my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
I like that one. Sounds good.
Thanks.
I liked it. I was like, the Beans on Toast challenge. I need to fucking do that. I need to get that done. That's brilliant. All right, so I've never hosted a panel before or been to a panel, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I've never been to a panel, so thanks for giving me this opportunity, Jazza. Yeah, it's a beautiful moment. So I guess I've got a few questions, and if you guys have got any questions as well, then we'll get some questions from you too. But I just wanted to start by asking, you're all obviously successful on YouTube in your own way. What is it that makes a successful comedy video on YouTube?
Anyone.
Just to anyone. Just get stuck in.
Lots of energy.
Energy.
Yeah. It's not really, YouTube's not really a place for subtle comedy, I don't think.
No.
For understated, you know, like Stephen Wright or something, you know, it's very spazzy.
Spaz out, yeah.
Yeah, actually we're working
Weird
on...
Al in the house.
Actually we're...
No, that was good, Tom. Thank you. We were all thinking it. So for me, a good comedy video on YouTube is just it needs to be funny. Like it doesn't really matter to me.
It's a weird question.
It doesn't matter to me if it's long
That's
or.
what I've been doing wrong. No.
Why didn't you tell me, Jack?
I mean, I've been keeping the secret too long, apparently. So with me, like, it doesn't matter if it's long or short or whatever. If it makes me laugh, I don't really care. Like, and for me, like, I don't really think. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not the. What?
Nothing. It's fine.
He's being cheeky.
Oh.
Banter. Your mum.
It doesn't really work. Banter doesn't really work when we have microphones that go over the top of each other and we can't hear them,
No,
but they
that's
can.
even better.
Yeah,
Sorry?
it's funny.
So, again, I can't. Don't talk. With you. I love British humor. It's much
Highbrow
more
comedy.
sophisticated. Yeah. This is what we come for, the more sophisticated British.
Have you learned anything yet?
I thought British comedy was more sophisticated. So no, I was going to say this. British comedy is a lot more self-deprecating. I find that like the American comedy channels are usually a little bit more.
It's rooted in confidence.
Yeah, it's kind of, and then I think, it's very confident, energetic comedy and with the British guys, as it is in I think just British comedy in general, just a little bit more self-deprecating, a little bit, I guess, slower on the boil. That kind of thing.
Is that changing though? Do you think that that's changing as YouTube is obviously completely global? Do you think that American comedy and British comedy are kind of converging a little bit?
I think that's what Tom's
there's
videos
a common sort of YouTube genre of comedy emerging.
I mean, I just think of myself more as a very Americanized. Sorry, Laura, but I'm talking now. No, I just think of myself as a very Americanized kind of comedian. But yeah, I agree with Americans about the about the energy and stuff. Like I've made a career out of trying to take a joke and just tell it as quickly and loudly as possible. So I think, on YouTube, there's not really time for, a slow build up to one punchline because you want a sketch to be quotable, rewatchable. You want people to come back for more, and there's so much, and it's intense and catchphrase. So yeah, just like a real slow, like TV-esque joke where you're entertaining a passive audience on a sofa just doesn't work on YouTube because everyone's like this.
They're ready to
they're like this with a hand on a mouse, ready to go. Nah. So if you don't make them laugh within like the first 10 seconds of what's supposed to be a comedy video, that you lose them.
I think there's a balance though. Laura, you can talk. I keep talking.
Wait, don't let Laura talk.
No, I completely agree with Tom. I think on YouTube.
Okay, thanks, Laura. So
you can't drag it out, and I think you can get away with that in TV and film. But I also think, kind of coming back to the universal thing, there is a bit of more of a need with comedy videos now to make it more like relatable to everyone. So if you want to attract like a large audience, it kind of has to appeal to America and like those kind of places. So
it's not just about making something that's funny; it's about making something that you think is going to work well with the audience. You have to think. Do you have to? What do you guys think about when it comes to making a video? Is it just a case of making something that's funny, or are you thinking?
That's what I want to do.
I've got this kind of audience. I need to make something for them.
No, with me and Dean, it's just essentially.
We made a video about me being haunted by a ghost, so that's not relatable at all, I don't think.
Has anyone had that? Anyone had that awkward moment?
Share your story.
That awkward moment's like, Nan, get out! You're dead.
And but with us, it's like me and Dean work together all the time. So it's like if it makes us laugh, it's going to make you laugh. That's basically the way we work. It's like if we laugh at it, someone else is going to laugh at it, and that's that. We don't think about we need to be like this, this, and this, and this. But I guess you could break down, for example, our video naked. You have a guy who's naked in it. Number one, that's quite like that's grabbed your attention.
I've been naked once.
And then you have like joke after joke after joke, and then the punchline is we scream, and like that's you could break that down and go that's internet comedy. But it wasn't thought about like that. It was just it made us laugh, and that was just how it worked.
So if we're not funny. And anyone who enjoys us, you're not funny either, so that's good, isn't it?
Wow. When it comes to relatable comedy, I don't really. My motto is I make the video I want to make in a way that my audience is going to want to see it. I have a lot of mottos. Like don't drink and think. But
you don't follow that one though.
One of my never said that.
Are you drunk now? Be honest.
So. But one of the things I do make is when I'm making my animated comedy, I do come up with what I call lunchbox jokes, which are jokes specifically relatable to kids when they're all together, like in the playground or kind of certain food groups. Genuinely, it started with things that would be in their lunchboxes, so that when they're at lunch together, they will see that thing, be reminded of my joke, and then quote it and become little viral machines. I'm a monster. There is no, I'm raging sociopath. But so that's why sometimes when I make jokes about like, haha, milk, it's like, yeah, go to school, laugh at your milk, tell your friends about me and my milk joke. It's not on.
We try to do. I mean, we actually we try to make videos about everything that we think is funny. But if we're not like tapping into the zeitgeist in some way, it usually doesn't do nearly as well. I mean, our Kesha parodies or One Direction parodies, those things are gonna just attract a massive audience, whereas some of the other things we do are people don't really give a crap about.
We do sometimes we'll do one for them and one for us.
I was going to say that you have to kind of do stuff.
We do so many different types of things on our channel, so.
We have a certain audience that would be perfectly happy if we did nothing but One Direction parodies, but we don't. I mean, because we're not like the cute guys, like, hey, just come look at us. We have to like give them some. We have to like make videos with other cute people in
it. We're the kids that got bullied at school, so we know how to dance, monkey dance. Yeah.
Is it quite difficult to resist the urge, the temptation, just to do One Direction parodies, just to do the easy thing that will go down really well with the audience? Simple to do, easy to come up with.
They're actually, the thing is they're really hard because I mean, like the first time I'll sort of tackle an artist that I haven't before, it's usually pretty easy. You know, like
Yeah,
so,
they never see it coming. He comes up from behind and just...
Yeah, so it's like, okay, great. There's a new pop star. There's a bunch of things I can make fun of. Like our first One Direction parody was like, oh, awesome. I can say this, I can say that. And then by about the fourth one, it starts to feel like, wow, these guys really hate One Direction. They're really, this older guy has really got a problem with this boy band. So they become harder in a way. And also a lot of these pop stars, I mean, the way we do it, we don't take it and make the parody about something else. We actually go after the band or artists themselves, and a lot of them are guilty of the same crimes. So it starts to get harder to sort of find a new angle on some of these things. And we could make them not funny, I guess. And
we could try that. That's a great idea.
Some would say we have done a few, but yeah, it's kind of actually harder to do that. So, but it's a good challenge.
Okay, we've all been doing YouTube for a while. Some of us longer than others, Laura and me. Old school, woo. How has YouTube changed over the last few years in terms of comedy, and in what direction do you think it's going? Is it just going to get bigger and bigger and more professional?
I think it's become a lot more difficult because production value has massively increased. I mean, like people were happy with like a webcam, no makeup, in your pajamas. And now it's like full scale, like Jack and Dean full scale productions with the producer and everything.
Loads of makeup.
Yeah, loads of makeup, as you can tell. No, so I think it's a lot more difficult. But I think what's quite nice is that you can still do those kind of webcam videos and find some success. But I don't know what it's going to be like in the future. I don't know whether that's going to die out.
I think that it's interesting because a couple of years ago when Julian Smith started and kind of brought the DSLR revolution, like sketch comedy was kind of the thing. Like it was like he made sketches, they all got popular, his Jeffrey character, everything was getting massive views. And then like within the YouTube community in Britain, we started doing the same sort of thing. So me and Dean, Tom, Bing, those sort of people, like, we were making the biggest sort of stuff in the UK as far as sketch concerned. And then in the last few years, that's kind of died off. Like, and we seem to be the only ones who are even Bing stopped doing it as much. Like, we are the ones that are continuing to do the sketch comedy in the UK, because in the UK especially, it's all the vloggers, it's all the sort of they're sort of looking to the camera, and that's what, like, that's where they could be comedy videos as well, but like there's not as much scripted stuff anymore, I don't think. That's what I'm finding anyway.
Yeah. I would argue that the kind of peak for comedy on YouTube, was around about like 2009. It was like when YouTube first started, it was like kind of a very comedy and music-driven site, but now it's the space for comedy is getting less and less. I remember. Kind of like 2011 was the best, 2010, 11 were the best years for me because I knew that I could put out a comedy video and maybe get like 2-3 million views, which would be wicked. And to make that would probably cost me a few £100 to get the production value just to a decent standard. But now a video that I want to get any views is probably going to cost me maybe £2,000 and is, if I'm really lucky, going to break 1 million views. And it's just, and even though my audience has tripled since then, it's just the space has kind of become hostile, I think, kind of more weighed towards the people who can produce more regular weekly content. And when you want to make high production sketches, I mean, not only does it take time to write, but it's expensive and hard.
Yeah,
time-consuming.
Sketch comedy can be pretty expensive. That's why it's really hard to sell a TV show for that same reason. They're like, ugh. There's so many moving parts.
And you have to build like sets. You can't just be like, hey, we made this living room, go joke in it.
Yeah.
I think that might be part of it as well. It's like but like a lot of you guys spent so many years filming in living rooms and bedrooms and homes and gardens that you could, that it's like now it's just so saturated with those kinds of videos, and all the jokes that could be made about that have kind of been made. So now you've got to go bigger and better. You've got to start thinking about different situations. The other thing is, it's like there's a huge pressure on being funny, and like I try at least to kind of mix it up every once in a while with a video that's a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more educational or has, a sort of meaningful message, knowing that I have a younger audience. Like I did one recently on responsible drinking. But even when I'm doing that, I have to keep it really light and breezy and funny, to kind of keep people's attention throughout. So there is a huge pressure on that. And I know there's a lot of people, like I think Bertie is probably the only person I can think of who's doing more dramatic stuff that isn't laugh out loud funny the whole way through. And I commend him for that he's trying, but I think a lot of people would like to. A lot of us, have ideas for scripts or want to do things that are a bit more serious, but we're terrified to to try it out on YouTube, which is kind of crap.
I think it's difficult finding the balance because I always feel like if you want to get a message across, the best way to win people over is to kind of do it through comedy and make people laugh, rather than sort of like sound like a broken record. But then you have the problem of making light of the situation and getting blamed for that. So
that's why we made Consent. That's why we made that. We made a song, if you don't know about it, called Consent, where like we
really. Tell us more. Where can we find this video?
YouTube.com/JackAndDean. We made that. And the reason that we made that is because it was in response to Blurred Lines. Like, Blurred Lines came out, and we thought, why can't pop songs be about something a bit more explicit? Like rather than having vague, sort of like
you mean
blurred
less explicit?
lines.
Less explicit.
No, I mean like we're. You know what I mean?
No, I know. It's,
the lines are not
explicit message, yeah. So like, so we made it a comedy. It was more of just a positive song, and we did that because everyone's going to make videos and turn them on and talk about that issue like very sternly. Whereas like we thought, why not do it in a sort of easygoing way?
I don't think that would have flown if it had been a lower production value.
I agree.
Like, it had to be that high gloss, look like a real music video to work. If it had just been you guys dancing around your bedroom trying to, like, even though the lyrics are funny, I just don't think that it would have sold. So there is a huge pressure then to kind of make it big, I guess.
Thank you. You've all kind of mentioned this pressure that there is on YouTube to make videos that are not only good and that you're happy with, but that do all right in terms of the amount of views that they get. Has that pressure changed your kind of stylistic goals and what you want to do long term and the kind of comedy that you make? Or do you still feel like you're quite true to how you were when you started making YouTube videos? Because I know that I've kind of changed the sort of stuff that I make. It's difficult not to. When you see the kind of videos that are doing really well, you can't help but be influenced by those.
The stuff that I make now is the stuff that me, when I started, wanted to make. I think like I wanted to be the way I am now. So I like me at 17 wanted to be as good as I am now, and me now wants to be as good as I am at 25.
All right, Matthew McConaughey.
Hey?
You like Matthew McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey did that, yeah. I think that's what it is, though. It's like I haven't changed. I've only changed because I've developed. I haven't changed because of the platform. I've only changed because I've got better.
I think I have changed because of the platform. Like if you watch my earliest videos, it's still very much like, oh, that's the same guy. These are the same kind of sense of humor. But like, genuinely, kind of the pressure to not fail is so intimidating that I am more likely just to not make a video for 3 months than just force something out. Well, not even force something out, just do something because I want to, because that can't, like, sometimes the videos I'm just like, oh, this is what I'm passionate about, I'm just going to do this one. And it's like, whoops, that really messed up my channel.
But look where you are because of it. Like, you've made a sound business decision there, and you're like, this is what the market wants, this is what the demographic wants, and I'm going to kind of package that and sell that to them, and you have millions of subscribers, yay.
And I've
tried to stay true to myself, and I have 70,000. But that's what, like, if you do, like, I have tried to stay true, and I know there are avenues I could have taken through comedy, through beauty, through whatever. Like, there are things I could do. There are tags that go out that, I could just jump on the bandwagon of that tag, but I won't do it unless it's something that I genuinely find funny. I've done like a Game of Thrones parody that's going to be coming up, and I suppose that's quite a big series, but it's still kind of cult, and it's something that I'm into. I wouldn't make something about a film I wasn't into just to get the views. And I suppose you pay the price for that. It means that you're not going to get the views, but it really depends on what you want to get out of it.
Well, my business model, though, like you said, like used to be that I knew what my audience wanted, and that was quality over quantity. But in the past couple of years, the site has now changed. Yeah. It's been the site that's been like, no, people want quantity, so we're just not going to show them your videos. So that's kind of like, so my business model did get me where I am now, but I've plateaued because the site has changed. Like, I've always had such an issue with people being like, oh, the site is screwing me over. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, yeah, site's screwing me over.
Yeah, we do a video a week, and sometimes we do one with less production value, and sometimes we do one with more. But if we don't do one with more, like, you're not competing with everybody who's making good stuff now. Yeah. So we definitely feel pressure, but we just do it anyway because we don't have anything better to do.
Yeah, we definitely had a moment where we kind of started noticing, hey, how come our videos look like shit compared to everybody? Because we were just sort of stuck doing it one way, and kind of with sort of the idea
it's because
that
Kieran O'Brien lives in the UK.
What's that?
You don't have Kieran. That's the issue.
He doesn't know who that is.
I have no idea what you guys.
He
are
films
saying.
everything.
But
Hello, mate. Fish and chips, apples and pears.
pretty much.
Right, guys?
That's all I'm hearing. No, but yeah, I mean, we started putting a lot more money into our videos, and I think, and we've noticed the difference. I think people start watching something and they're like, this is in some guy's bedroom, and they kind of get turned off to it. So
Yeah, they see it now, and it's like, oh, this is the thing.
yeah,
I need to watch this thing.
Is legitimate.
Yeah.
Somebody
Because
paid
it
a
lends
cameraman.
credibility to it, I think.
Yeah. But as far as like tapping into stuff and you know, we try to. I've always felt like good comedy should try to tap into the zeitgeist. I've said that twice now. It sounds like that's my word, zeitgeist.
I don't think anyone's paying attention anyway.
Oh, okay. They don't understand what I'm saying. But you know, I've always liked.
I feel that.
I feel like I'm a proper chat show, yeah?
Yeah. It's a bit cheeky. But I always feel like good comedy should tap into what everybody's talking about, what's going on. I mean, good comedy shows at least have one sketch or a couple of sketches that talk about what's going on right now. So we always try to do that just almost as a challenge. And then, you know, then we'll do some sort of quirky inside stuff. But, I mean, there's so much content that you have to make to keep going that I feel like you can make all kinds of stuff. You know, you're never going to... I feel like eventually... I have ideas that have been kicking around for like 3 years, and then I'll finally make it. You know, if you just keep doing it, you'll use everything, I think. Because it's such a quantity business.
Okay, so for somebody going into this, for somebody starting to make comedy videos on YouTube, maybe they've never made a YouTube video before, they want to do some comedy stuff. How do you do it? Like, where do you start? There's so much out there. What would be, I guess, your tips for somebody wanting to do what you guys do?
I would say you see so many people kind of doing videos and they're copying someone else's style, or they're copying someone else, and I would say, first and foremost, just be yourself. You'll work out your own style, that will develop. The worst thing is to kind of see someone uploading a video and they're kind of copying their favorite YouTuber, and it's great to kind of have inspiration from that, but keep your own style and kind of, just kind of be yourself in your videos. That's what I'd say.
How many of you guys, by a show of hands, are actually in that situation where you either just starting or interested in starting, or... Do you guys know what hands are? Is this microphone on? Am I speaking English? Okay, just a couple of you guys? Yeah. Yeah, don't do it. Go to grad school or something. Just stay out of our territory.
My advice really would be to just start doing it in any way that you possibly can, because whatever gets you into it is kind of immaterial. I think that it's such a hard thing to do. Comedy is so hard to sort of commit to. Doing regular content is so hard to commit to. If you really want to do it, you'll do it. There's a lot of YouTubers that I'm like not crazy about what they do, but every single one of them is a really hard worker and has a really strong drive. And I think if you want to do it, you will. And all of the advice we're giving you, you'll figure it out just through trial and error. And you'll probably learn better that way than somebody telling you. And then later on, you're like, oh yeah, he did say that was going to happen. But everything I've learned is through screwing things up. We've done stuff that's really hacky. Luckily, Todd and I came along before. We had a lot of time to do really bad comedy before YouTube. So a lot of that stuff nobody saw. So we were lucky enough to kind of come to YouTube with some skills. But yeah, I mean, just keep doing it, and if you really want to do it, then you will keep doing it.
Also, if you're not giggling when you're watching it back, it's not funny, generally. As a rule, if you're not, like, if the script doesn't make you laugh to begin with, or while you're filming you're not having a bit of a laugh, or when you watch it back it doesn't make you giggle, it's probably not funny. Now, you may just have a really weird sense of humor, and that's fine, but generally, as humans, we have a gauge for what's funny, and if you're laughing, it's probably funny. I mean, it's a really silly, simple rule, but that's
why gag reels exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not with Kieran, though. He just stops rolling the second it takes through. It's like, where's my gag reel?
We laugh a lot when we're coming up with it.
Yeah.
But then the rest is
the least funny period is the edit. You're like, this is awful.
It's like the seed of the idea coming up with it is the fun part, and then when you're finally done and get to watch it, that's fun. But usually, actually, by the time something's done, unless it's something kind of quick and fun, I don't see the jokes anymore. That's why I have to like show it to people and say, do you like this? Like, that's why we have a team of people, that we respect
You have a team of monkeys who
We
just
have
do
a
that thing.
team of monkeys reviewing each and every one of our videos. Yeah.
It's essentially an internet watch.
No chim chim, stop throwing the poop.
Yeah.
Oh, I made a poop joke. Comedy. I mean, like, not to kind of like completely disagree with Laura's point.
What is
But,
with
um,
you and Laura? You guys have a vendetta?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I like Laura. No. Like while you did say I'm gonna kill you. While you did say that, like, yeah, like, don't try to be like other people. I kind of believe that you should. You kind of also have to. Yes, you should just be yourself and not try to just like emulate someone else. But you kind of also have to accept that you are just going to be ripping off other people.
Yeah, but you're taking.
No, I don't
bits
think
and
that's
pieces
true.
of all the
You
things
take-
find
you-
I
funny.
think that's like the first thing, like the first way, kind of like the first sort of step to road to failure, really, if I'm honest.
I think there's a fine line between ripping somebody off and them and being influenced.
Yeah, I think
That's what I said, gain
Yeah.
inspiration,
Yeah,
but don't
yeah.
start mimicking people. And I may be saying this just because I do a lot of work with other females who are pretending to be lads, and it doesn't come across genuine because we watch a lot of males in comedy, and they're very, very laddie, and it doesn't come across like legit. It comes across like they're trying to copy people, and usually it just, falls on its ass, basically. And that's why I was saying that, you know.
No, I think, but like personally, I'm very self-aware. This is why Jag loves me. He made a whole vlog about me. No, I didn't. I'm very self-aware, and I can, when I write a joke, I can kind of tell where every single joke came from in sort of like what comedian inspired this element of my sense of humor. So it's more like, I just think the best creatives are the ones that are kind of copying / taking inspiration from so many artists at once that you can't tell who it is. So if you are just trying to be one, if you are just trying to be Crabsticks, it's going to show. If you're trying to be Crabsticks meets Dan is on fire, you're a fan. No, it's also a bit obvious. But then suddenly, when you're trying to be 10, when you're like mimicking 10 different people, it does create this new thing. And I think
It must get confusing.
everyone's individual sense of like comedy is based on all of their influences, in my opinion. I made a vlog about it.
I think that's true. I think that's exactly what Laura said as well. I think you just agree.
I
in
know.
different
I
ways.
just wanted to like have a
difficult
fight.
My
I'm
advice
speaking
is
now.
to if you're gonna rip something off, rip off something that's really old because then it's an homage.
Advice.
Oh, okay. But it's kind of true though.
Thank you.
Or, I mean, you made another point as well that was like, just be yourself and be authentic. Or be a character, and that's fine, but the character has to be original.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people on YouTube do kind of take on this persona, and it's sort of a character who they aren't offline. But so long as that's, to some degree original, and that character kind of has their own vibe, then that's fine. But you do see that as well. You see a lot of people kind of create this character who you've absolutely seen before. It's it's just an absolute stereotype of something else.
Okay, cool. Has anyone got any questions? Yes, you.
I mean, welcome to this.
Don't-
That's exactly
don't
what
take
it's
anything down.
The first Jack and Dean video is still on our channel.
Yeah.
You can find it somewhere. It's the worst thing
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Like,
But we keep it there because
It's just that's just. I can watch things from a couple of years ago. I can tell we didn't have this much production then. I can tell we didn't know this then. That's just what developing is, and I think it's actually becomes quite fun at times to go back at your own videos and make fun of them yourself and go, why did we do this? You can tell we've done this. This is from this or whatever, or this is just shit. Like that's usually just like what
it's
it
kind
is.
of like when you're growing up and you look back at your really bad haircut. I
Yeah.
mean, my haircut's been the same.
It's
my
not
entire
changed.
life,
Also, that's
One day you
really,
will look
it's
back.
like that going. What
That's
was
really
I thinking?
good because if you look back at those haircuts and we're like, I looked so good then, it's showing you have not progressed. Like it's the same with the videos. If you're looking back, going, oh, that could have been funnier, that could have been better. Like you're learning from it. That's so good. And don't take them down. I've committed to never taking a video down.
Yeah.
Like I hate some of my old.
There are
ones, but-
YouTubers that do take their videos down,
Yeah,
and those
I
people are
think-
trying to hide that they were ever bad.
Yeah.
Fucking Bertie.
do it.
Fucking Bertie.
It's like be proud of who you are.
Be true
Yeah.
to that. Yeah.
I'd say
It
take it
shows
down if it
progression.
sucks that bad. Kill it, dude.
I think the fakest thing you can do is like pretend that you aren't who you once were. And
Yeah.
be like, no, I was always this good. And that kind of shows that you're not actually being genuine, which I don't like it.
I think, but at the same point, you don't want your searches, like if someone searches your
That
username
is
and
a
all your
point.
old rubbish comes up, you don't want to really be associated
That
with
is-
it.
that is the-
it
one point
depends
against it, I
how
guess.
bad
Yeah, it
is.
depends.
Yeah.
But I mean, so if it's just not that funny, I think it's fine. really depends what you're doing in these videos. I don't know what you're doing in these videos, but
What are you doing in these videos?
These are 10 things black people do. Take that down. Take that down now.
that's not.
I was going to upload that tonight.
Unless like the joke is that it's all really normal things like
Yeah.
eating. Like that's fine. That's like satire.
Tom, are you pitching this?
Coming on Tuesday. It's not.
Wow.
It's kind of.
Has
That
anyone
is
else
a
got a question? Quick.
That is a funny video though.
It could be awesome.
Who are we picking? Who should we pick?
But it's always the same. It's the
they're
same
gonna
video
love
with
that.
different
Dude,
subtitles.
yeah.
You, sir. Best joke we've ever heard.
Best
I was
joke.
really worried you was going to say, since this is a comedy
You
panel,
have one
why is it
This
not
is so
funny?
fucking boring.
Okay, I'm going to get on my list.
Where are the comedians?
When does the comedy start?
I thought that's what he was going to say.
Yeah.
It was like,
Since
he was
this is
a
a
very
comedy panel.
sophisticated heckler.
It is the worst thing being when someone goes, "Oh, you're a comedian. Tell us a joke," and you go, "Your mum," and then like that's pretty much
But
it.
often the funniest people are not the ones who can sit around the dinner table reading out those awful Christmas cards.
Yeah.
Somebody have a good
cracker
joke?
jokes. Like that's.
I
that's
got.
not
I got. So
comedy. He's got a list.
I write. So whenever I write really bad jokes that I'm never going to put online,
these
I
are the
write them
ones you
down.
read out to us. That Beyonce one isn't funny. Tom.
It's so funny. It's so
Okay.
funny. So okay, what did
Oh,
what did,
fucking hell.
what did Rihanna say to her grandmother with Alzheimer's?
Oh, no. What's my name?
Thanks, Jack.
Fucking hell.
Don't have Alzheimer's. That doesn't make any sense.
No, because fuck. So okay, so you're at Beyonce's. You're at Beyonce's house, right? And you've had dinner, but you haven't finished the dinner. Okay, follow me.
Yep.
And you want so you want dessert, right? You want to ask, but you ask Beyonce for dessert, but you haven't finished your dinner. What does Beyonce say, Jack?
I don't want to say it.
She says, I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
She does, yeah.
and then the rest are racist.
God.
There you go. Did that answer your question, sir?
Did he make
We think the funniest thing of all time is the new Apparently kid.
Yeah.
You guys seen the
that,
video?
Giles. I enjoyed
Apparently they haven't seen it.
Oh.
You haven't
I
seen
don't like
Apparently?
the remix, but I like the kid.
It's very new. Like it's very.
Yeah.
It is like pretty. We see the things first.
We don't see the things first. It's
Well,
the internet.
We see them pretty
Well, they're
early
just
on
really
See them-
important to
we
us.
see
because
them
they're
China.
because they're our competition.
That's what we call news.
Yeah, I mean, well,
The
no,
Apparently kid.
it's our rivals. It's like, well, I mean, if you guys are in the parody game, you have to be like on it with the
Yeah.
pop songs. Like,
Yeah.
this thing's blowing up right now. Go, 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 go.
Nice thing about the pop songs is that they last a little bit longer than some sort of, the viral videos. Like, there's so many things that just happen and they're just gone immediately. Even movies now, we've realized they'll have that weekend and then people are just done talking about it. We used to do a lot of movie parodies or like fake trailers and the tail on those is much shorter than it used to
It's
be.
more of the
so.
build-up in films now. It's more
Yeah.
like the hype for films is more exciting than the actual release. Like,
Totally.
everyone gets excited about it. That's why, like, Batman vs. Superman is coming out in 2 years, and already there's a teaser trailer. It's like, fucking hell.
Worst teaser trailer ever.
Just two guys looking at each other.
It's just two men.
That's literally what it is.
Let's do that now. Amazing. Are you excited?
Any other questions?
Any other excuses for us to just talk about our own stuff that has nothing to do with your question?
Self-indulgent. Does anyone else want to say something?
Is there much of a place, do you think, for generic comedy? So making fun of the genre or, say, a type of vlog?
So what you're asking is that do you think there's a place for making fun of YouTube sort of stuff? Sure. No, I
You
don't
make
think
a lot of enemies because you're parodying
I
someone.
think it would be good for some
Marcus Butler
YouTubers
will
to have a
always take
reality
offense.
check every now and again. Like, so.
It's also very, 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 very hard to do subtle satire well on YouTube and not have people not understand.
Yeah.
Like these guys do parodies of videos where it's like, I don't know, Mumford and Sons, and it's like four guys that look like fucking cowboys dancing around a stage. It's like, you hear the tune, you know what it is. It's obvious. If you take a subject and try to do like a subtle or dark kind of comedy with it and try and be funny, like generally you'll just get hate in the comments.
Or they'll just believe it's real.
Oh, that's what I mean. They'll be
Yeah.
like, this is awful, how could you say this? But it's funny. I didn't mean it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, like, I really want to like believe in people and be like, people aren't awful and stupid,
are.
but they are. They're so bad. Like I've So I'm going through a weight fluctuation in that it's up, bad, fat, man. And whatever, like that's my problem and that's cool, and I'm gonna deal with that. But like I don't really like enjoy getting ripped apart about it online, so I make jokes about it so that other people don't really feel the need to make those jokes.
But do they still do it?
My latest vlog is called Chubby Chins, and I make like 3 fat jokes at my expense in it.
I think
but
the end shot is you doing a sort of...
but there are comments on there. But like the comments aren't just like, yes, you are fat. There are comments on there as if like the person watching it thinks they're the first one who's doing it. It's like, wow, you got fat. Or like, wow, you've gained weight. Like, I fucking know. Like, the amount that people don't get jokes.
Like, your videos get quoted, like especially the Ask If Movie series, they get quoted wrong, and they still find it funny. Like, they quote it in the comments being like, haha, this. It's like, no, that's not the joke. Why are you finding that funny? I don't understand where you're finding comedy in that.
They're happy, let them
I
have
am trained.
No.
I am trained.
We've been sort of dipping our toe in spoofing YouTube lately, and it definitely gets us a lot of hate. But
Well, it's just case in point. Mark had this idea of doing like this commercial for a product called PewDieGlass, where it's Google Glass with PewDiePie in your eye, and it's just like...
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it is the worst product ever. But he does a great impression of PewDiePie, and the Bro Army came, like...
well, the kind of older, 20 years and 20 pounds heavier PewDiePie.
I want to hear it.
Started like, hey, fuck you, bro. Ah!
Isn't that just fucking South Park?
Actually, I don't know if you ever saw the Kids in the Hall. There's a guy who was like, I'm crushing your head. He kind of PewDiePie kind of sounds like I'm crushing your head guy.
But the point is, like, yeah, like, that stuff's big enough to where everyone, like, the huge audience comes over just to check it out, and it did really well for us. It's a pretty funny video, and we're starting to do that a little more.
Yeah, I think I kind of feel like YouTube's a little too nice. Like, we're all friends, and most of those people that
Have you met
say
the
that,
animators? They are not nice.
Well, maybe it's different over here, but I feel like everybody in the States is like, oh, we're pals. It's the big thing, and then they actually don't like each other. And I think
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's not.
I think it's really nice here.
No, it's not.
Shut up, Laura.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I think there's a little room for to call people out on their bullshit. I think that, when generally I think if you're pissing somebody off, you're probably making somebody else laugh really hard. Like, South Park doesn't give a crap, who they piss off, and they're like my comedy idols. So I think people, I don't know, we just try to have a little bit of bite in what we do.
That was a question 10 minutes ago. Just talking.
Good.
Nah, it's fine.
I feel really bad.
When do we have to get off the stage? In 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's try and get a couple more questions in. Has anyone else got one?
We did answer the question, though.
I
We
was
did a good
answering
job.
his question.
Yeah, we did. This is what you do on a panel, Hazel.
But I think, yeah, generic can work. I think if you do it across the
now
board,
you're
Quiet,
still
quiet.
gonna
Now
keep
you're talking.
answering
You're
it?
talking over the person. Sorry.
Hazel, come on.
the Americans hate Irish people. Repeat the question.
So you're asking kind of what the difference between animated and live action comedy is? Sorry, I was texting while you started asking that question. It's, in all fairness, it's so that I can make you laugh later in the day. There is a reason I'm frantically trying to sort something out. So yeah, the difference between live action and animation, sorry. And then I talked over you explaining the question again.
Answer the question.
Well, we're out of time. The kind of difference is, the reason I like making animated comedy is because people take to it a lot quicker, which is kind of interesting because if it's live action, people are way more critical of it. Like, they will criticize the person in it or the production values, but if it's animation, they just don't question any of that. Like, you are just delivering them the joke in a very simple form, and they go like, okay, I like this, thank you. Whereas if you do the same joke, just as funny, exactly the same, in live action, they'll be like, that person is fat, your camera is bad, walls are boring, like, they will. And so that's why when my best performing stuff is the stuff where it's basically like stick men on a white background with just nothing else, and then they go, the joke is there. I like the joke. I have nothing to hate about this. People still find things to hate.
What's interesting though is that, like, I work with Tom a lot, and like Tom thinks about live action in the same way he'll think about, like, especially as the pace and the way he's pitching it in his head is the same as a cartoon, like that. Like it's very interesting. Like Tom thinks in sort of like the pace and the sort of the style of a cartoon for everything.
That's why it's so expensive for me to make a video. I try to cram like a 20-minute short film into like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, where'd my money go?
Thank you.
Let's have one more question. Two more. We'll have 2 more questions.
You said about the fact that there's a lot of hateful comments sometimes, depending on the certain comedy. Do you find that the reception from the audience affects the comedy that you make, or if you get a really negative response to something, does that deter you from doing similar sorts of things again?
No.
It's the views, I think. The comments.
Yeah, like
if you hate it, that's great. Give me some comments. Lather me up with relevancy. But like with actual, it's the views that will tell. That'll be the real teller. The vocal minority don't really affect it. But if it's like, I don't care if like 100 people comment it saying they hate it. If it's very clear that only like half my audience just didn't watch it or didn't share it, then that's what will be more of an indicator for me.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll have a lot of really crappy comments, and then you'll see but the likes are okay. So the comments just tend to be like the bathroom wall of the internet. You know?
Yeah, vocal minority is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a comment on our videos saying this joke didn't work or something like that. It's either like, never seen it. I've never seen someone dissect our videos. The only time.
Yes, I wasn't really feeling this one.
Yeah, like I've got like
Cocoa Pops.
Like Dean's a faggot or something like that. And I'm like, glad you're not paying attention. Like just like.
Yeah, like
so,
and kind of a combination of that and there was another question earlier that kind of relates to this. In the naked video, I'm naked, so and in the video we
mention that again.
Yeah, tell us more about that process. How does that work?
I was naked.
You weren't naked though, were you, Jack?
No, shush.
And this is where it gets exciting.
That's a secret. Shush. Yeah, in that video, like we make a joke about the fact that about body confidence, and yet in the video, like in the comments, they're still like, your body is this, your body is that, and even and Tom, I was living with Tom at the time, and Tom was like, why are they doing that to you? You're fine, and I was like, yeah, they're gonna pick at something, aren't they? But like even that, there's a part in our live show where I come out without my shirt on, but that would have deterred me from doing that if I cared about the comments, but I don't. If anything, they're the people who are going to comment. Like the people who like things are going to go ha 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 and go away. The people who hate things are going to go, I need you to know I hate this. So I don't care about that.
And if you're self-conscious about something, like Tom said, just make a joke of it. Like you can
own it.
Find a lot of comedy, just in what you're worried about yourself.
You find a lot of comedians do that. Yeah. Like a lot of people say, I get there before anyone else can. Like Tom did say.
And like Hazel was saying, it's a very British thing as well.
I call that the 8 Mile approach.
Okay.
Seen that movie?
Yeah. Eminem. Yeah.
That's what Eminem does. Yeah.
Sure. Are you gonna get into?
So you guys can use that if you want. Yeah.
You gonna get into MCing? You gonna do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hardcore, bro.
Okay.
Cool. They know it.
Let's have another question. Let's have you in the back with the hat.
Hat man.
I love how he was about to yell.
In Britain, we have quite a strong stand-up foundation. How do you feel that the new paradigm shift is affecting comedy coming up as fresh new comedians?
That's a really big, heavy question.
Jesus.
And I'll be honest, I didn't understand it.
Good night.
That was too smart. Paradigm?
Okay.
Jesus, dude.
I think the question was, do you think that YouTube is going to be another way for people to find comedians other than stand-up?
I hope so, because that's a wicked
That's
platform.
not what he meant.
No,
he just looked at me and goes, fuck.
Is that what the question was?
Give him mic.
No paradigm.
Mostly. Yeah.
Mostly that. Good.
They come at
yes.
Is YouTube replacing stand-up? And as
No,
you're
I think it's
coming
another
up
one.
through a new area,
No.
how have you feel that's affecting your comedy style?
In the same way the cinema didn't replace TV or theater, I think it is just a new medium. There's always been even YouTube for a while was like, we're going to kill TV and that, but it's like, no, YouTube is a new medium of its own. And when it kind of accepts that and stops trying to be other mediums, that's when it's really, that's why I think it's so great. Yeah. But I think it's just another
here in the UK especially, like the stand-up route is like, you do stand-up, you go to Edinburgh, you get a meeting, you maybe get a television show, then you have to translate live to the screen. Whereas we're doing it the other way around. Me and Dean just got a show, so live show, not a sitcom. Like we've gone the other way. So we've learned how to do screen stuff, and now we're going to do live stuff. And I think that that's fine. Like the other way is totally fine. It's just another way of getting into what you want to do, and I don't see any problem with either route.
I think the music industry is a really good comparison. So you could kind of say the same thing for, oh, well, if it's suddenly so widely available and people are streaming it constantly, does that mean they're not still going to go to gigs? Well, of course not. You know, as you can see, you know, concerts are still as popular as ever. I think what it might do, though, is in the same way as the music industry has seen, you've got people kind of coming up on YouTube who suddenly become famous who probably wouldn't otherwise had YouTube not been there. So what you probably will have is people like Jack and Dean who maybe without YouTube, you know, it might have been years more of sort of touring and gigging and trying to get where they are, and you know, through their channel, they've, you know, luckily and through their talent and everything, got their live show. That's great. But I think there's a lot of people out there who will kind of begrudge them that. The same way that they have with music, like, oh, this girl sings on YouTube, so suddenly she's huge. That's not fair, because I've had to do pub gigs forever. But, you know, it's each to their own, and so long as there's hard work and talent going in. I think it's very similar.
I need YouTube. I need YouTube. I'm nowhere near likable enough to survive in the industry the traditional way, and I'm not confident enough to survive on stage. So it's like, if I didn't have YouTube, I'd just be just a dick. Which that would be all I'd be. But now I've got YouTube, so I get to be like...
So you're a dick on YouTube.
Dick on YouTube.
Basically.
Well, that is the end of the comedy.
I like the word
Wasn't that funny?
dick on YouTube. That's how we sign off. Fab.
Cool. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for coming, everyone. So many more of you here than when we started.
They're not here for us.